What's going on, everyone? It's the Niskel. Welcome back to Resident Evil Village. Hey, we got a mask, and we got our arm back. I always love that. So, these guys have actually been out here the entire time, and they didn't aggro on me. Surprisingly, if you stay right in the middle, they're not programmed to start trying to attack you until you go into their very small vision cone. Now, excuse me while I try to kill these guys mostly with a knife, because I am actually running low on ammunition. Ow! And by the way, I know I kind of put this in post-text at the end of the last episode, but the reason I mentioned not to actually use a healing item when Dimitaresk is chasing you down in the basement, that cutscene where Ethan reattaches his arm is a free heal. And I actually had to double-triple check while I was doing a practice run thinking, wait a minute, I was at danger and all of a sudden I'm fine when I'm back up here? It's not too often that a cutscene actually helps you. So I figured I would have to mention it once, twice, maybe 3 times, just to show that's really cool. Within the context of the story, yeah, Ethan healed himself. So it makes sense that they would give you a heal. Way to go on those very small details that as soon as you see them, you're just like, oh man, that's awesome. Good job, Capcom. And I'm actually waiting for more guys to spawn around here. Mainly because if they're out here, bigger enemies do not show up. I.e., the mistress of the castle. So I kind of want to take out these guys. And while I'm taking out these guys, this was recently brought up in a comment, so I figured I'd mention it. Censorship. We're talking the cultural differences type of censorship. Resident Evil games are vastly different between their North American and Japanese counterparts. There is no decapitation. There are no severed limbs. This is a big no-no in Japan, or at least they don't like showing it. In Biohazard and in Village, in Japanese, you just show a profusely bleeding Ethan. He doesn't actually lose any limbs. And that has actually been a thing since since Resident Evil went hardcore. In Resident Evil 4, Leon actually didn't get decapitated. He just spewed a lot of red liquid. And now for the real meat and potatoes of this entire episode. We've got a couple maps, we've got more places to explore, and we're almost going to get everything. Surprisingly, a short segment. You wouldn't think that by how much the game was touting itself as like, oh, go explore Castle Dimitresk, when there isn't much to it. I'm not going to say this left a sour spot when I first played the game. I knew it had to end eventually. But just seeing how little of the game it actually is, if I were to throw a percentage on it, I'd say about 35% of the game is here in the castle. Nah, actually, that's a bit too much. I give it a 20%. Please be aware the mistress's lipstick is missing. If anyone finds it, could they please return it to her bathroom? It is custom made and therefore very expensive. That is a hint to a treasure that we can actually go get now, so might as well. Of all the keys we'll be getting in this game, unfortunately we don't have this one. The piano hides the key. Okay. Hints abound. I knew I'd see you. I always miss that. Same with all the other crystal fragments that are just lodged in the ceiling. I always end up missing them. I never think to look up. Surprisingly, in first person, it's just in the back of my mind. Okay, here we go. Let's get some lore building. I know I say I love this a lot, but seriously, if you want some world building, check it. 1 day since treatment, the 3 girls have stopped moving. They seem almost dead. An insect flew out of the eldest's mouth that appears to be a common fly. 2 days since treatment, all 3 bodies are covered in flies. It appears the flies are consuming their flesh. When I opened a window, some of the flies dropped dead to the floor. It would seem the cold petrifies them. I quickly closed the window to avoid weakening the insects further. 4 days since treatment, all 3 bodies have almost been completely consumed by the insects. All that is left is a dark, writhing, human-shaped mass of creatures. It is just afternoon, and the insects have started to change color. Around the face turn pale, and those around the lips turn deep crimson. The massive insects have transformed into human bodies again. All three girls awoke looking at me like newborns. I sense a bond between us like mother and daughters. I have already decided their names, Bella, Daniela, and Cassandra. This is how Dimitresk's daughters came to be. They are literally bugs. Or a special type of bug that, en masse, can take over a human corpse. That is sickly disgusting, and I'm glad that explanation is in there. You can leave certain aspects of the game to the imagination, but that right there, knowing that Dimitresk almost kind of experimented on these three corpses and decided, you know what, I'm gonna make three girls made of bugs. That means no guys will go after them unless they have the intent to kill. Sorry, Lady D. This is another area that I really like when you're talking about world building. See that? Well, doesn't that look familiar? And here's the main item. This is the room where the labyrinth maker was making a labyrinth. And this is the ball we need to use the one in the Duke's room. Smash that real quick so nobody comes in here. See, there's a few nitpicks I have for later on in Village. The castle segment, A+. I will give Resident Evil Village that score. Really good segment. In fact, I'll give the next segment an S. But we'll stick with the castle here. I mean, we got a couple little baddies in here. You kind of have to have this. But it's fine. We're all having a good time. We're running away from a giant vampire lady. All is good. It's got plenty of world building. It's all labyrinthian. Well, not exactly a labyrinth, because we're not easily getting lost, but this feels Resident Evil. Even though we're going mythical creatures, this feels perfect. We're going around collecting keys, solving puzzles, actual honest-to-God puzzles. There we go, that's what I'm looking for. Speaking of puzzles, we actually have one in here. And I'll go ahead and let you know, this is an ongoing gag since Resident Evil 0. Technically Resident Evil 1, but if we're going in timeline order, it started in 0. And going back to the lore, let's check this out. Similar body structure to blowflies, although there are differences in the head. They are carnivorous and vigorously consume meat. In order to catch unsuspecting prey, they'll gather using phenomenon to mimic a human. They are produced when a cadeau lays eggs in its host, but the flies themselves are unable to reproduce. They are weak to sudden drops in temperature, especially if the temperature drops below 10 degrees Celsius or 50 Fahrenheit. Their metabolism lowers and they go into a dormant, cryptobiotic state. This is another explanation on why the bugs hate the cold. They just kinda go to sleep. That's also a semi-explanation as to how we were able to get the three daughters in the first place. Okay, a piano puzzle. Again, it's been around since Resident Evil's conception. I don't know what it is about puzzles having to do with the piano, but I love it every time it happens. You don't have to read sheet music in order to figure out where each key goes. Ah, beautiful. Lovely piece. And there's our next key. So I'm gonna kind of break the wall for you a little bit. Every time you pick something up in the game autosaves, you see a little flicker in the top left-hand corner. There's a 50-50 chance that doing that will actually trigger Dimitresk chasing after you. As in spawning here in the courtyard. And it didn't happen. Go figure. Wait. Oh, you suck! You remember what I said earlier about if I don't kill all these guys, a certain somebody won't spawn? Well, this guy spawned after I left the room, so yeah, she's not gonna come out here. Shit! I had it all planned out, too. I was gonna have her chase me, we were gonna have a hell of a time, but... oh, well. Fine, I'll just go pick up the treasure I deserve. We had heard that, or at least saw a note, if we were to find the lady's lipstick, you know, take it up to her room. So let's go do that. Around this point... oh, there's where we went through the floor. Yeah, but around this time, this door is actually opened. I don't know if it's after she throws us through the floor or after reading that note. But here we go. The lady's lipstick. Somebody said it's really expensive, so let's go give it to the Duke. See if he starts drawing on himself with expensive lipstick. Ah, yes, I'm gorgeous. This is cut off, so you can no longer go over to the terrace. It's nothing too big, I just thought I'd point it out because it's interesting. That's one save point you will never be able to get back to. I don't even think you can go all the way around the initial way. I think you're just locked out of that. And the only thing you'll miss is a green herb and $1,000. Damn it, it still isn't working. After you get the iron insignia key, it's a shoo-in if the guys aren't out here, because Lady D will start chasing you, complete with her own orchestra sting. Man. Oh wait. Oh my God, that's her music. Well, you. Okay. Well, never mind. I must have misheard the music. Damn it. That's okay. Well, screw you for ruining my plans. It was gonna be perfect, but no. We have little fodder to deal with. Unfortunate. Well, it's fine. There's a... you know what? We can redirect this. It's fine. In fact, since we got that lipstick, why don't we go visit the Duke? And hopefully run into Lady Dimitresk. Actually, we've got a few things to sell. This is perfect. Oh, and we actually have the ball, so we can just use the labyrinth, too. She could appear at any moment. But it doesn't look like she's actually in this part of the castle, so I doubt she's actually going to try to follow us. Okay.
It's a pleasure to see you safe. How were things?
No sign of Rose.
I'm so sorry it turned out that way. Well, you'll find your way to her once you're out of this castle. Do you have need of anything for the road ahead? Thanks to your consistent patronage, I've expanded my services.
Oh, thanks a lot, Duke. Let's see what you got. After I pick this up, I might as well do the labyrinth, grab some extra cash. These are really neat, but they're so simplistic. You get a little ball bearing, and you're allowed to rotate the entire puzzle in order to try and use the physics to have the ball come all the way down. This first one is extremely easy because the only place that the ball can actually fall through and not hit the exit is right near the end, and go figure, you actually can't see it, but there are 3 holes back there that are not the goal. So just tilt it downwards towards yourself and gently have it go straight in, and we're home free. See? Easy. And after that, you get an achievement, you get a little fireworks show, and you get the remains of a dead guy's wife. Fantastic. Apparently, this is extremely valuable. Yeah, very valuable. Okay. I'll take your word for it. Another thing I want to note about the labyrinths is if the ball falls into a hole that's not the goal, it'll just restart. So if anything, it's just wasting your time. You don't actually fail it, which is good. There you go, buddy. All this fancy schmancy stuff.
Aha!
And that's all you have to say.
Securing goods is more important than anything. Anything, my friend.
Duly noted. I've got a nice chunk of change, so why don't we go ahead and pick up the rest of the recipes. Looks like we can get sniper rifle ammo? Ooh, haven't found that yet. We can also create mines, so pick these up, and it looks like he actually has a few parts that we can equip to our current ammunition. I do want to power up the weapons I have. I'm not going to do it too much. Resident Evil Village, just like 4, 5, and 6 actually. I'll give 6 this. The standard level of progression for weapons, the ones they give you during the main campaign, is actually well paced. And Resident Evil Village is no exception. We will be getting a stronger handgun. We will be getting a stronger shotgun. But for the sake of showing everything off, I will at least start upgrading these first weapons that we can get with their customizable parts. So here we added an hair trigger to our shotgun. We added an extra stock to our handgun. So just giving them a little extra oomph for later. Oh yeah, we added an extra 6 to our full capacity. And we can't upgrade the shotgun anymore. Yeah, you notice how it kind of just stops? You have to wait until the Duke expands his services. Even if you get the upgrades for the weapons, you have to wait. And therein lies one of my nitpicks.
Till next we meet.
Why do we have to wait? There is actually no reason for us to wait for it, but it's a small nitpick. So anyway, let's have some fun. I went and hunted down Lady Dimitresk because I want to show off her AI. She has extremely good hearing, which you wouldn't know by the fact that I blasted windows right next to her head and she didn't even hear it. But Lady Dimitresk has a humongous vision cone, as well as being able to hear gunfire and you're running. She can actually hear that too. She just heard me walk. She also may have seen me on the banister, but, you know, that's beside the point. But there's a couple things I want to show off, because when you oh god, she's invulnerable. Oh, she's too dummy thick! I can't get through! Okay, we're good. We're actually going to run back to the Duke's room, because I want to show off how threatening this AI is, and then show how you completely manipulate it to make it easier. We're gonna get her all the way down here, her with her massive reach and very sharp fingernails. But you'll notice something as soon as you enter the Duke's room. You barely even have to go through the door frame. She has lost us. Now, if we actually head back out here, she is now back on the hunt. This is how Mr. X was programmed to an extent. Mr. X will actually go on a set path around the Raccoon Police Department, and Lady Dimitresk is no different. Ow! Okay, so you're not exactly safe, but notice how we're in the room, and she has lost us. That is a bold-faced lie, madam, because you can't see me. Even though she's looking directly at me, she has lost the scent. This is hilarious because you can use this to your advantage. She can't even hear gunfire while in here. And now she is going on her own set path. She has a couple different areas that she will make her rounds in. The first part of the castle, she will actually make one giant circle, going through the main ballroom and going past the Duke's room. When she makes it out to the courtyard, she can follow you a bit farther from there. She'll go through the dining room. She will go to her main room, and she will go through all the other rooms that you can actually go to right now. So she has basically 2 giant segments of the castle that she can follow you in, which is actually terrifying. Imagine seeing that 9'5" lady coming at you with razor-sharp fingernails. But there are a couple safe havens. I've already shown you the save room, which is hilarious in a, you know, if we're talking realism in Resident Evil. Why is she afraid of the Duke? I don't know. But I want to show off the safety corner. For some unknown reason, she has lost the scent. This corner is just outside of her realm of understanding. She has lost us. For whatever reason, if you tuck yourself into the corner right next to this door that I'm in front of, she's gone. She will actually continue on her pathing, trying to find you, and she won't even see you. Now, this got me thinking, what happens if I actually attract her to that spot before she loses the scent? Will this actually change anything? I'm just gonna let this speak for itself because, really? Hi. Good to see you. You don't see me, but hi. This is hilarious. Now, be very careful though. This trick only works sometimes. If all the parameters are correct, she will not see you if she is coming into the room or coming up the stairs. If she sees you walk into this area, it doesn't matter how well hidden you are. If she is right in front of you and sees you, you're getting hurt. Ow! So, yeah, I tried. Oh, God! Alright, the jig is up! The jig is up, it's fine. Oh my God, I'm out of here. Okay, fine, you win, you win. Oh, Jesus. I have been waiting to show this trick since I started practicing Village because it's just the funniest thing. Why this corner? I'd like to think, because if the parameters are met and you have the iron key and you're opening up the next way, because we're about to run right into a boss fight. Surprise.
So you finally came to see me. Everyone follows you.
I have a strange feeling that's why Lady Dimitresk just stops. And now let's go ahead and take out another one of her daughters. There is a gigantic window in the ceiling. Why she decides to fight me here? No idea. But it's not going to work in her favor. Daniela, this is not your best method. In fact, this is such a cheap boss fight on my behalf. I'm actually going to see if I can trick you into walking into a mine.
Why would you do this?
Because it's funny and I'm having fun. I'm going to make the AI run into a... please? Is it going to work? Run around, please. Run away from me. Yes! It actually killed her, too! Oh my God, I love this game sometimes.
I'm sick of bugs.
Oh my God, I feel so bad for, like, dunking on this family. They haven't stood a chance. Like, I disappeared in front of Lady Dimitresk's eyes. I made her daughter run into a mine. This family doesn't stand a chance against Ethan Winters, recently widowed. And just so I can beat the comment section to it, fun fact, Daniela is played by the same actress who does Jill Valentine in Resident Evil 3 Remake. It's like I finally killed the worst of the remakes, Resident Evil 3. Hooray! It's amazing how as soon as you figure out how the mechanics of the game work, how you can just prop them over your knee and snap them in half. They've used the stalker type enemy since Resident Evil 2, the remake, I should say. And each stalker you've had to deal with has different AI. Here in Village, because it's not a huge part of the game, even though I said it was like, what, 20% earlier? It's not that a huge part of the game, so it didn't have to be so well planned out, I guess. I don't really want to say that because that just sounds like I'm being mean. It still works for what it needs to be. I'll just leave it at that. Unfortunately, Daniela did not last, and that's 2 out of 3 daughters. Now, I've gotten the mask. That's 2 out of 4 masks. Let's actually head back to the main area, because, believe it or not, there is a missable cutscene. If you just keep going to where you think you need to go, you're going to miss this, and this is just perfection. Again, more to the world building. If you come out here to the main hall, after killing the second daughter...
Cassandra! Come here, now! Enough games! I'm on that man's head! Now go!
Of course, Mother.
Isn't that great?
Trying to work up my appetite, are you?
No thank you. Here, I'm safe. No takesies backsies. Like I said, if you know how the AI works, you can snap it over your knee. Alright. let's have a puzzle. That sounds pretty good. It's been a while since we've had a puzzle. Not really. Let the 5 bells of this chamber ring out. Okay. I think I can arrange that. Oh, I love the snapping turtle. Alright, there's one. Ooh, that looks breakable, and that looks like a bell. Hello. There's 2. So those ones are pretty obvious. This isn't that difficult of a puzzle, but it's still neat. I just think it's neat. If you come up here... And actually, if my math is correct... There's another bell. Did we do it? Hey! Alright! That is all 19 windows. Or if you're in the third-person playthrough, all 20 windows. That's every breakable window in Castle Dimitaresk. After hitting all 5 bells, mission accomplished, we opened up what I assume is a life-size portrait. Actually, no, that actually looks right. Yeah. Maybe it's just a tad taller. They wanted to... It's like, oh, Lady D, you're not tall enough. We must draw you at 11 feet. So all the simps can rejoice.
What a thrill. With darkness and silence through the night.
Another dingy attic. But with a surprise. Hello. You're just far enough away. Well, that's okay. God, this reminds me of the Baker household where I did a puzzle inside of Lucas's room and then I went all the way up to an attic. Wow. Treasure? I like treasure. In fact, it becomes a key item for some reason. Oh. I already know what this is. There's an heirloom worth a fortune in that nobleman's casket, but there's a damn trick to it. Something about lighting the way. Pfft. Sounds like a bunch of hogwash. But I'm sure we can figure it out. And surprisingly, it's the one place we couldn't get to in the basement. Perfect! I don't think I've ever fallen for that trick of the enemy just laying on the ground. I can only imagine that that is how this monster died, and it was just like, well, now that I'm reanimated, maybe I can surprise him or something. Maybe I'll nibble at his ankles or what. Ah! Nice little hidden gunpowder there. And this is another part of the world building. I heard there was something called the Dagger of Death's Flowers somewhere in this castle. It's apparently an antique from the Middle Ages that's coated in a concoction of poisons from across the continent. It has been crafted to kill demons and monsters. No one knows where it is. When I first read that, I thought, oh sweet, Ethan gets a bitchin' knife. It's not that cool, but you know what is cool? Hello, beautiful! An F2 rifle! Go figure, we just learned how to make sniper rifle ammo. And we get a lovely sniper rifle. Bolt-action sniper rifle specialized for taking out long-range targets. Yeah, we're gonna be dealing with long-range targets. This weapon is a godsend. In Village. So I'm glad we got it. Nice bolt-action rifle. And you know what? I think we're going to call it here. We got a new sniper rifle. We've taken out another daughter. Next time on Resident Evil Village. Let's go take our new sniper rifle out for a test drive. See you guys next time.